Right. So today we have with us Ritankar Kundu. So Ritankar has gone to ISI Calcutta, the institute where I passed out in the year 2008, 16 years back. So I am, extremely privileged to do this as a college Humo series. It's a nostalgic feeling. I'll be talking about a few things. How is the new building? How is the food there at ISI? So, memories actually come back to me when I studied there at ISI. So just to give you a background about Ritankar, Ritankar is a Calcutta University Maulana Azad BA Economics student. Right after college, he was able to bag ISI Calcutta as its first year QE program. Firstly, congratulations, Ritankar. And anything else, do you want to add in your introduction, like where are you from, and how do you like the subject economics?
So, sir, I am basically from Siliguri. After completing my class 12, I came to Kolkata where I did my graduation. Um, Basically, I'm from a PCM background. I never had economics as a subject in my class 12. After passing 12, I was pretty sure I didn't want to go engineering, so I was searching for other options where the subject is both academically heavy and also it has its application in corporate or people can go into corporate. So economics was particularly appealing for me because I could connect to it intuitively. I love studying it. I love thinking about it, and that is the reason for me choosing into economics. And after I did my graduation, I fell in love with the subject.
That's awesome. So when did you decide that you want to do a master's in economics? Was it absolutely in the first year, or was it at a later time that you
No,
decided?
sir. For 1.5 years in my college, I was just figuring out, I was just understanding the subject, how it is. Because in the first year of undergraduate, we are not taught very rigorous economics. We're just introduced to the subject and what is it and stuff.
I can understand that.
After
Yeah.
yes, after 1.5 years and 2 years, I started liking this subject. I got to know about the opportunities the subject presents after we complete our masters, and later I decided to do masters, and right now here.
Awesome. So can you start with your journey first up itself? Like when did you start the course at EduSure? How did you decide? How did you decide to start off the course? And how did you start the momentum? Did you think about a routine? Were you able to follow any routine in the preparation?
So before that, I would just like to add one thing. Before this entire journey for masters started,
Yeah,
I have this one motto: whatever it is taught in undergraduation, I'll do it with my full honesty. And right from the first sem. And
correct.
that paid me off later in my preparation. So okay, and then after I decided to do masters, I then started searching how it is to be done. Do people take coaching or they do it alone? And what are the things? How difficult are the exams and everything?
So you
I
did the
remember
research
attending.
on your own about the difficulty of the
I
examination.
remember attending an EduSure webinar that happened in our college. So I remember attending that, and that was my
Yeah, I
uh,
remember meeting you because I went there physically as well. I went to
yes. So
Maulana Azad physically to deliver a seminar on career as an economics. So were you a part of that, and then you decided?
yes, I was there. That was my second exposure to EduSure. I got first exposure in my when I was in my first year. So I knew about EduSure. I talked to my seniors who were able to crack other entrances like ISI or IGID. I talked to them, and after talking to a bunch of people, then I decided to take coaching in EduSure. I was enrolled in the Eco Topper batch. I guess that started in June or July past last year. I don't exactly remember the month.
Yeah.
Um, I started then, and exactly when the cutoff batch started, we had a semester four examination. I guess yes, the
Hmm.
semester four examination. So
Yeah.
as soon as it started, I had to come back to my semester examination, and after the semester examination got over, I started my preparation fully. So again, my motto was to not learn everything, but to learn whatever I learn that should be perfect. I think there shouldn't be
The
a
concept has to be
point of
clear.
doubt. There
Whatever you do.
has to be there. Yes, sir. So slowly I started. The what helped me is the routine that is being prepared by Disha. There's a monthly routine every day, which subject is being, which chapter, which topic is being taught, and there's a weekly quiz. That was super beneficial for me because what happens in such a long preparation is there's a high when you do a lot of things, and then there's a low when you're demotivated and you tend to lose out or you tend to you are basically you are not along with your peers, like people who are more disciplined, they can go far ahead. So that helped me to be disciplined throughout. So
So
I was
basically, the
very consistent
schedule,
with it.
helped you.
That's super useful, sir.
Looking at the schedule, you were able to keep up with the pace of the class. But I want to ask you a question. Like, as you said that the semester examinations were, right at the beginning of the course. So you must have actually missed out on a few classes,
I did.
right? So how did you make up for those classes? Like, how, were you able to do that?
So initially, I just dropped off those topics, and
Okay.
later we used to take like that's holiday, like Saturday, Sunday used to be a holiday. I remember Sunday we didn't have class, and moreover, the chunk of that backlog was covered by me during the puja vacation.
Okay.
A chunk of that I covered in during the puja vacation, so I did that.
So in the puja vacations, you went onto the portal and you saw all the videos, and that's how you.
The entire process, how it's being taught. As in, I guess there's an Excel sheet for us where the
Yeah.
schedule is written, and again, there are the questions written which are done on the class. So I used to go for the theories, then the questions which are done in the class, then I used to solve the sheet actually provided to us, like the past year questions which are provided to us.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's great. Another, question. Actually, you pointed out that in the preparation, there are a few highs. There are a few lows. So how do you motivate yourself? How do you get out of the low? Most of the students actually go in the low and then they are going off, right? And then they give up. So what actually motivated you that if it is a low, you got up and you went to a high again? Like, how did you come out of the low section?
Uh, so for me, since I always dreamt of going to DU and studying in one of the top colleges of the country, coming to Maulana, like nothing, Maulana is a very good college, but again, if I am comparing, it's obviously not at the level of Hindu or Hanj. So for me, my
Right.
motivation was from the first year of my college was to get into a top institute.
Yeah.
I didn't know would I be doing masters or MBA, but it was very clear for me I would get into the top institute. So whenever I used to get demotivated, just used to remember myself, am I happy where am I right now? And the answer would have been always no. I picked myself up. Also, one thing that helped me is, as I said, I love competition, being competing with my friends, and the weekly test which used to happen. And after the weekly test, there used to be as in weekly
There used to
star
be
performer
a
list.
star performer
Exactly,
list
and
at every show.
that was very motivating, and that was actually fun for me. I used to take it as a challenge. Okay, fine. There's another test. I want to be the star performer. I want to see my picture out there. That did motivate me.
That's nice. That is nice. So, with the schedule of the classes at college and EduSure, we actually had a class every day, Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. in the evening, and we yet do with the new batch. Also, it's the same thing. So many of the students actually say that coming to class becomes a challenge. But I would like to ask you, how many classes did you attend? Did you try to do all the classes, or how regular were you in the
Like,
classes?
apart from the time when I had my semester examination, like the Sem 4 and the Sem 5 examination, I don't remember I missed a class.
You
I
don't
don't
actually
remember
remember that you
missing a
missed a
class.
class. So
Most
that's
I do.
amazing. And that's a trend that many of the students also tell us that we came for all the classes, right? We did a series with many students across colleges like IIT and ISI, DSC, everywhere, right? And we hear this all the time. Students were actually regular in the classes, and even though each and every class has a recording, and students can actually see the recording multiple times, yet most of the students actually chose to come to class in order to see it in a live manner. So why did you choose to come to class? Like, can I have.
So in a live class, it's easier to hold attention. So when I'm doing a live class, I'm not getting easily distracted. While in a recording, I can always pause and look at my phone. In a live class, I know if I'm looking at my phone, I'll miss a topic, I'll miss some words which may lead to something I'm not understanding later. But in a live class, it's very for me it was easier to hold the attention span during the entire 1 hour.
That's Yeah, that's a point which many students actually don't keep in their mind. And I personally think that many students undermine how important a live session is, because a you need to be attentive throughout. B, it actually keeps you, regular in a way that I need to study each and every day. And regularity is the key in order to crack any competitive examination for that matter. Not only a master's in economics, be it a, IAS examination, IIT examination, any other entrance examination. So that's, important. Now, coming to the, examinations itself, how many examinations did you appear for? Did you appear for the IIT and the CUET and ISI? How many examinations?
So I appeared for. I started from my giving exam from Azim pre. I sat for Azim. Then I gave IIT Jam. After which I gave CUET. Then I appeared for ISI, and I also appeared for IIT Kanpur and IIT Delhi examination, which gave to three.
That happened in June. So right from January to June, you were only taking examinations. So that was a period of 6 months. Wow.
Yes, sir.
Now, many of these examinations have a different, kind of preparation. Like the CUET level is actually lower in terms of the difficulty. ISI was higher in terms of the difficulty. And between the CUET and the ISI, you had approximately 2 months time in order to prepare solely for ISI. So what did you do in those 2 months in order to prepare solely for ISI right after CUET? Any tips at that time that you would want to share?
So the most important tip at that time is to not lose the calm, because two things can happen. Like the previous exams can go well. In that case, you tend to just
You tend to be
lose yourself.
overconfident, or you tend to
Exactly.
be,
And the other thing can happen is the previous exams went bad, and again you are demotivated for that. So what happened for my case was I was very anxious because I was All India Jam. In Jam my rank was 32. So I was anxious whether I'll get into IT route or not. By the time CUET results came, again the thing came into my whether I'll be able to go into TVC or not. The most difficult thing for me was to control these thoughts and focus on my studies.
you were absolutely on the border in both these
Exactly.
examinations.
So the important thing was for me to not focus on these thoughts and focus on my studies, my preparation. So how I handled this 2.5, 2 months was just after the CUET, I took a bit of break. I went for a trip. We had a small trip, 2 to 3 days. That was much needed break for me. After I came back, I was in my hometown. I was at my home. I just had a very compact routine of study. I won't say I studied a lot since everything was covered in Jam and CUET. So I studied a lot. I had a very compact routine. I used to do past years. Whenever I'm stuck into a past year, before directly going into the video solution, I used to refer to my notes to clear out the concepts, and then again I try. And even if I'm not able to, then I go for the video solution.
Okay.
This is how I went.
Okay. So basically, in those 2 months, only concentration on the past paper solutions.
Past
You were
papers.
basically only solving the past papers. How
Yes.
many past, papers did you solve, and how many times did you do that?
During the entire when we started, so during the preparation, I used to do everything that is given in that sheet. In that sheet, I think ISI papers from ISI 1999 were also mentioned. Questions
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
I did that once.
Oh, you
And
did the entire thing
I
right from
used to do the
1998.
I tried doing the entire sheet. I tried doing the entire sheet. So so that happened once. So the entire ISI paper was covered from by me once. And after the CUET got over, I started from past year paper. Like I started from 2023, and I guess I went on to 2009 or 10, and I did that thrice.
Okay, so 15 years, 3 times, 2009 to 2023, 15 years. You
I
did
did that
that
thrice.
3 times. Okay. Okay. And, most of the students have an issue that, is there a routine that you follow each and every day? Like, I need to finish a paper a day, or what is the routine that you followed at that time?
So I don't remember. As in, I didn't set my routine as I'll be finishing the
Any
day. I just set
deadlines that you
I
set
give
that,
times.
okay, I
Yes.
need to finish?
Yes. So I usually in a day I used to do. I tried completing 2 papers in a day. Tried completing 2 papers. Many times it did not happen because the PEB questions used to take long. So, but that was the goal, and I tried sticking to that.
So basically, two
And
papers in a day. That was your
yes,
uh, target. And
yes,
that's a very good point that you made, that PB are actually very lengthy. and that can actually take a lot of time. So many of the students are not very confident with the PEB section. And so how did you manage that? Like, all the examinations are actually MCQs. Only ISI has a PEB, which is a subjective. So how did you prepare for the PEB answering practice?
I actually like the PV pattern because uh, each question, like the even two questions, can have multiple solutions, can have different ways of thinking towards some same question. And ISI is an institute, even if you do not, there are step marking, right? So if you are, if you, even if you can complete the question and you just try to get the concept, and maybe you got that right, they give
Hmm.
you marks in PV.
Yeah.
So my concept was right from when I started practicing PV was to think about PV. What is to be done? What is the question? What can I think from the question? So I
Hmm.
started in that manner. Then I thought my own solution. Then I just figure out video, and then I compared. That is how
Okay,
I
so you
went about.
solved it on your own, and
I
then
tried
you took a look.
solving it on my own.
Then you took a look at my video, and practice is the only way to get confidence. That is the way to go
Yes.
forward, right? Makes sense. Makes sense. And now actually leading up to the ISI examination, in the last 1 week, what did you do before the examination? That's a crucial time. So how did you allocate? What did you do in the last 1 week, if you remember?
So for me, for me it was very important. I have my concepts very because I knew it's we usually do get PV questions common. Like PA questions we can get common, but usually PV questions we do not get common. So now, while for solving the PV questions, you need to have a very strong concept, or else you won't be able to solve. For me, it was very important to get my concepts very clear. So in the past 1 week, again my thing was since had already solved my solved the past year question, I just looked through them once, and without the pen and paper, I just thought over what was the question,
What are the
define
steps
how would I
that
approach
you
that
need
in the
to
question.
write?
Yeah,
And
how would I approach that in the question? Yeah, and I went, and if I am stuck in a particular question, I used to go to my notes again. I used to look at my concepts and then get back to the question.
makes sense. Makes sense. So ISI entrance examination is only one of the parts. After the entrance examination, there is an interview, right? So can you share about how did you prepare for the interview, and what did you do for the interview part?
So we were given a PDF of questions from
I
EduSure
had,
itself.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had actually
So,
given a PDF of, questions probable
but
for the ISI interview. And we also
yes,
conducted an ISI interview with each of
mock
them.
interview.
We also
Yes.
conducted a mock interview. Yeah. So did that help? Like, how was
So
that?
mock interview actually helped because it some many times it happens you are able to solve a question when you're alone sitting in a room, and it gets difficult when two people are looking at you or expecting an answer from you. That people, at least for me, I believe I would get nervous. So that was very beneficial when we are sitting along and so you are speaking the interview and I'm solving the question then and there. And
Hmm.
I was able to solve, apart from one, I guess I was able to solve all.
Yeah.
That gave me a lot of confidence.
And how was the ISI interview experience? Like, how was it? Uh,
Um,
what
so
did they
my
ask?
interview was on the second day, second half. So
Second day,
we were the
second half.
last batch. So we
Okay.
were the last batch to be given an interview. So I went to the room. My panelist had three professors,
Hmm.
and basically they asked me to give my intro first. Then they asked where I applied and which ISI I preferred, which was my first preference, and which was my second. And after that, they asked me from which topic I would like the questions to be. I answered them, ma'am, I'll be comfortable if you ask me microeconomics, and the entire my entire interview was based on microeconomics and related mathematics concept.
Okay. And was it a very smooth interview? Like, the
Uh,
panelists were friendly and
as a professors are very friendly. I mean, I heard that before, but when I experienced that, you won't be nervous. I was thinking I would be nervous, and what if things doesn't come to my mind when I'm nervous? But they make sure you're comfortable there.
yeah, they are actually very very friendly. So
Yes,
most
sir.
of the professors at ISI, I also remember my ISI interview. We were There were 8 professors in our time in the panel, because we had 54 interviews over a span of, I think, 3 days or something. So they took a lot of time with each person. So there was only one panel in our time. Currently, how many panels were there? Are you aware? Like how many panels were going
There are
on?
two panels.
There were two
Two panels.
panels simultaneously. Yeah. Okay. So that was nice. And
I had a very short interview. So after the interview was over, I actually texted Mahima ma'am. I had a very short interview, and she asked me how were you able to answer the questions. And I said, yes, ma'am, I was. And then she said, okay, fine, let's see. So it's not about the time of the interview; it's whether it's long or short. No one can say what is going to happen.
so I remember, my peers had a 45, minute interview. I remember from St. Xavier's, we were actually 9 of us, called for the interview. And my peers from Xavier's, they had a 40-minute interview. Someone had a 45, minute interview. And my interview was only 10 minutes. And, most of them were actually telling me that it was only 10 minutes, tab to mushkil hai, nahi hoga, so on and so forth. And on the contrary, I saw that many of my peers were not in the list, in the final list, and I was there. So it was a surprise. It was, what I understood was, the length of the interview is unimportant. If the professors like your answer, that's enough. It may be a short or
Exactly.
long interview. It doesn't matter ultimately.
Yes.
Okay, so can you also share any references of any books that you followed in your preparation? Any
So
references that you
the
followed?
most important book for me was Video. Even for my interview, I referred Video. During my entire preparation, I remember I think I read Video 2 or 3 times. Like the important chapters.
Intermediate microeconomics, right?
Sorry,
Yeah.
intermediate microeconomics. I remember I guess I read that 2 to 3 times. So since I had there was a question in IT Jam that came exactly from Video. The notations were exactly same. And I could tell this by just looking at the questions. Okay, fine, it came from Video. Varian is a great book. Apart from
Did you also do the
Varian,
variant, workouts or?
yes, I did.
Okay. Yeah, you did
I
the variant workouts.
did that.
In fact,
I did.
variant is, sort of a Bible in the, preparation for microeconomics. And, we also made sure that in the portal, all the variant, workout actually solutions are also there on the student portal, if you see. So we solved it because, variant questions are actually very, very important everywhere. In order to clear the concepts, questions can also come directly from there. So multiple reasons why variant is a very important aspect in your preparation. Other than that, did you feel the need to supplement any other book other than the notes that we provided on the portal and in the books?
As in, I referred Gupta Kapoor for statistics because the Gupta Kapoor has a lot of examples, solved examples. So I referred that a bit. And apart from that, I just followed whatever was done in class, the notes I made, and the past year.
Okay, that's great. So, any last minute tips to your juniors aspiring to get into ISI? Any last minute,
So the tip,
any top thing that you would actually want to tell them as a message that okay, you should be doing this if you target ISI?
the tip would be to stay calm throughout because during the entire preparation, there would be a lot of things going on, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Someone would be cracking some exam, like maybe your best friend would be cracking an exam, maybe you won't be able to. This tip is just to stay calm during the entire preparation and not fall into the trap that's going around in the market. Yeah, ISI is very tough. ISI is not for everyone. In fact, ISI is for someone who is willing to put in that.
Hmm. That's great. That's great. So, in fact, coming from ISI Calcutta, I'll be telling you to, enjoy the food there. Have you been to Rani Bhavan yet? The subsidized canteen?
Yes, yes, I went there.
Okay,
I
so
had their food.
yeah, so how expensive is the tea there? How is expensive is the aloo dum parotha there currently?
Sir, it's 5 rupees, for which you get 4 breads and sabji with either it's aloo or ghugni. 2 rupees for a sweet and 1 rupee for tea.
1 rupee for tea. So tea actually used to be 25 paise in my time. Aloo with five parathas used to be 50 paise. Aloo dum, if you take it as a separate dish, it used to be 1 rupee. But we didn't actually eat at Rani Bhavan that much. We used to eat out. There used to be a restaurant called Annapurna. it's no longer there. I think it shut down approximately 10 years back. So each and every day we used to go there. We used to have tadka with roti each and every day. And in the evenings, we used to go to Taposhda. Taposhda is a legend. Probably he's there. Amazing tea with Bapuji cake. We used to have that each and every day. Each and every day that used to be our hangout. So memories. Probably I'll drop down to ISI one of the days and meet you guys there.
Sure, sir.
It'll be nice to meet everyone there. Right. So thank you so much for the time, Ritankar, and I hope that your ISI experience is amazing in the future as well. And I wish you an amazing career forward. Do stay in touch with us. Keep us
Sure.
posted. Where are you going? What are you doing? It's nice to hear from students. Where are they currently? Currently, I did a trek as well with a student of mine. I actually went on a trek with students, so it was very nice. It was very fulfilling, very nice. So they become your friends after a point of time. So yeah, that's how I see most of my students today. Anyway, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you all the best. And I'll be seeing you soon. Thank you, Ritankar.
Thank you so much. Thank you.